All right, welcome to the Canary and the Cage podcast. I'm Ron Morgan, my co-host
Dave Havlicek.
We are here to entertain you, educate you, and hopefully make you laugh.
Indeed.
So there's a lot of stuff in politics going on, but
Really?
I'm going to step outside.
Paying attention. So.
Yeah. Who pays attention to that shit anyway?
Ban me off of Twitter was the best thing that ever happened to me.
A lot of people have said that actually. Getting off social media. I don't. Well, I guess I'm more active on social media on X because of this show.
Yeah.
But other than that,
it'd be same here. Like the only reason I joined was for the show.
Yeah, I don't have anything on my phone or anything. So, I got a music question for you.
Okay.
So over the weekend, I took the Friday off, so I had a good 4-day weekend, and I decided to redo the flooring in the downstairs of my house.
Yeah.
Rip up all the carpet. You know,
so if you hear
old
any
carpet.
echo, that's what that is.
Yeah, old dog kind of thing. So I've been putting down BCT, and I'm not even done the podcast studio yet. Hence the empty shelf.
I can see how this is related to music.
Because when I do work, I listen to music.
Okay.
And I had Spotify on.
Okay.
And I picked Sublime's radio channel.
Okay.
So that kind of gives it a hint.
Yeah.
But I want to know what band, in your opinion, has sold out. Kind of like if you go back to Milli Vanilli.
Oh, tons of them
They faked everything.
Yeah.
So that's not really a sellout. But let's assume like from the 50s and 60s, like say the Beach Boys grew up and were anti-beach. Like, stay off the beaches, people.
Really?
Don't go on. No,
I don't remember that.
They didn't do this. I'm saying,
they didn't.
If they did this. Yeah.
Like, I missed that part of the beach.
You didn't see that big protest?
No.
Stay off the beaches. Beaches suck.
I just remember them on Full House with Jesse and the Rippers.
Right. So, again, my band is from the 90s. I know I brought it up in the show before, but I'm going to do it again. So what band do you think had a movement, had a message, and they just got old and decrepit and just sold the fuck out?
There's a bunch of them that like, I mean, Rage Against the Machine is the obvious one.
Yeah, that's actually the one I'm thinking of.
Because their name is Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, that's because some Rage songs came on. I typically just go back and hit skip.
Next.
But I was on my knees doing flooring. And I'm like, I'm going to have to listen to it. So I actually listened to the song again. It made me madder.
Yeah.
So
I never liked them. I just never liked them.
They were a very theatrical group. Yep. I mean, he would climb the staging equipment. They had a good message at the right time.
I don't like their music. Their music sucked.
It was, I mean, you could almost say it could have been poppy, but yeah, I don't know.
I started checking out of music in like 94, 95.
Wait, check it out. You
not music, but new music.
Oh, okay. Because you and Travis would sit at a bar and you'll be having a conversation with them. They'll be like, Blind Melon, Jumper, or whatever.
So I started going backwards in time at that point.
Okay.
So like when I was in, you could call it middle school, but we didn't have that in Chicago. It was just K through 8. But we were like 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. We were all into like Nirvana and Pearl Jam and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And like the more I got into the bands that influenced those bands, I'm like, these new bands just suck. They have no talent.
And it's gotten worse since then.
And it's gotten worse. But if you go back to like Led Zeppelin, Cream, I mean, they're just so much better. It's just not even close.
You know what's funny? I'm actually a 90s music guy. Like if I had to pick a decade, and it's not necessarily because I appreciate the music. I'm a lyrics guy. So I appreciate the lyrics and the movement,
90s is when music died.
The slackers, the grunge. I just kind of dug that music.
It's terrible. Well, I'll still listen to it on occasion, but because it's not offensive to my ears, but it's just like... it just doesn't come close to what's before.
For those of you who don't know, Rage Against the Machine, when they got old, and that's 2020 and 2021 and so on, they would not let you come to their show unless you were vaxxed, boosted, and wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Now, you can go, well, they're a band, they have a right to put forth their own rules to come to their show. Sure. But... if you listen to their music, I mean, Rage Against the Machine.
Right.
Well, they became the machine.
Anti-authority.
So they to me, they sold out the most.
Green Day was like that. Green Day sold out.
Oh, Green Day. They had fake accents.
I don't remember that.
They did fake British accents. Or maybe it was just Billy. Billy the guy who hates Vegas. Hey, Billy, fuck you. Stay out of Vegas. We don't want you.
They were, again, like a post-punk anti-authority, and then... kind of they were very anti George Bush,
right?
Like, because George Bush was sucked. He was one of our worst presidents. And then like Obama gets elected, and he continues doing the same things that Bush did, but Green Day was all in favor of it.
What song? The old leader is the same as the new leader.
Same as the new boss. Yeah, that's the Who.
Yeah, the Who.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I knew you would know that.
Of course, from the 60s.
Yeah. So, and that's basically what happened. Apparently, Trump's not that, but we don't know if he's doing good or bad right now. No. I like what he's doing. I like the path, but it's a long road. And if he can't,
there's an Elon story we might get to today about that.
Well, actually, we are going to get to it because I want to talk about that. But you want to do that now?
No, let's right into it.
Well, let's hold on.
We're gonna skip ahead.
Well, that's fine.
I ruined your orders.
No, that's fine. I just want to bring this up. How do I make that like full screen?
Well, this you can't go full screen.
Okay. So that's fine. So NPR is suing Trump over the executive order of cutting federal funding to them.
Yeah.
Apparently, they can't run a business without tax dollars.
Sorry.
Right.
When do we get our check?
Yeah.
We're broadcasting, right?
Do we get dividends though from NPR?
We should.
I mean, if they do well, they should pass out the dividends.
Right.
Bastards. So this leads into the media, which is going to lead into what he wants to talk about in a second. Maybe it's not going to lead in perfectly. Whatever. I'll finish this and jump in with Elon. But, it kind of does because it's a long, drawn-out thing. Big Pharma advertises on the TV.
Yes.
And apparently, they're like one of the only advertisers for CNN, MSN.
They're the biggest by far.
Right.
Yeah.
And Robert F. Kennedy wants to ban commercials from Big Pharma.
It's freaking no.
Well, no. Show me a cigarette ad on TV.
They shouldn't be allowed to do that either.
But they did.
Well, they shouldn't be.
Well,
you always make this argument. We're like, well, they violated our rights in the past, so why can't they do it again?
No,
stop violating our rights.
It's making it equal. If you're going to go off your
fuck equal. Equal is everybody gets to advertise.
I would much rather have cigarette commercials on TV than not.
Okay, then that's what we should do.
But
in fact, like I mentioned, I've been watching old Twilight Zone episodes.
Old what?
Twilight Zone episodes. And so they would do ads in the show. Like they would do a break and then have ads, but they also do in-show ads. Like at the end of the show, Rod Serling would come on and do an ad sometimes, and he would do ad for cigarettes.
Yeah, was he smoking?
And it's hilarious. Like, dude, this stuff. Like, I don't even want to try and replicate it because it's just go on YouTube and look up Rod Serling cigarettes commercials. Yeah, it's hilarious.
So what I'm thinking is, are we subsidizing? Because we already know we're subsidizing other countries with their pharmaceutical medication.
Kind of, yeah.
Are we subsidizing CNN and MSN by buying pharmaceutical medication? I mean, I don't.
Well, in a weird indirect way, yes. Because like if they mandate a vaccine and you pay for that vaccine, then some of that money goes towards marketing.
No, but let's talk about the pill of the day, Ozempic.
Okay.
Apparently, everybody wants to go Ozempic.
Yeah,
why? I don't know. Stay the fuck off it, people. I'm not even getting
it can't be that good if it's that popular.
Well, it's not that. It's like, it fixes this. So, okay, I have a doctor. I finally broke down. I did not go to the doctor on the show. I need to go. I need to go to him because I procrastinate. Wow, that was a hard word to get out. And I always just like, I'll go, honey, I'll go. Yeah, I'm gonna call him today.
Yeah.
Oh, honey, I ran out of time.
This time, you know.
So my wife just said, you have an appointment on this day at this time.
Right.
She had a friend whose husband died of a massive heart attack at 56. I'm 55. Do the math. And I'm not the healthiest eater, but I do like my fruits and vegetables, though. I mean, like a motherfucker. And I drink a little bit. So I go to this doctor, and he's like, he goes, I'm going to put you on Ozempic. I go, no, you're not.
Nope.
And he goes, whoa, what's your problem with Ozempic? I go, well, it's not necessarily my problem with Ozempic. It's my problem with Big Pharma.
Yeah.
Oh, so you really don't like Ozempic? No, I don't like any pharmaceutical. He goes, well, I was going to offer you testosterone, but you'll take that, but you won't take Ozempic. I go, well,
your body makes testosterone.
I go, if I choose to do my testosterone, I already have it in my body.
Yeah.
But I also want to know, am I low on my T's, or am I equal for my age, but I'm low from an 18-year-old?
Right.
I want to know. I want to see that scale before I do anything. But so Flash got. So he did. By the way, I'm healthy. I'm not dying. No, because I always thought if I die in my 50s, it's going to be from a heart attack. He ultrasounded me. Yeah. On my heart.
Are you pregnant?
No. Well, there's something in there. We don't know what the fuck it is. But he did all my veins and arteries, and he's like, this is what's weird. I wasn't going to get into any of this, but whatever. So, because this is the Elon Musk story, by the way.
Yeah,
this is what
we're getting there. Don't worry.
So he goes, well, you have a slight issue with one of your valves in your heart. It's a little inflamed. And he goes, don't worry, it's pumping enough blood. It's pumping the blood perfectly fine. I just want to keep an eye on it for a year, every year. I go, okay. So flash cut to him leaving the room. He enters the next room.
Yeah.
Tells the guy in the next room the same exact fucking thing. What's the odds of that? So
they
back,
have a script. Like NPCs.
He's back in my room again, and he goes, well, since you don't like Ozempic,
yeah,
I'm gonna put you on Monero. Monero, not Monero.
Oh, Monero. Fuck yeah, give me the Monero.
But no, it's like it's the same. It's the same thing in another wrapper.
Yes.
And he tried to discount that, and he's like, "And you diabetic?" I go, "I mean, I'm diabetic."
What?
He goes, "Yeah, you're diabetic." One, I'm not. Saw my own blood test, and my number was like right on the cusp. But it clearly says you must have at least 2 tests before you can be defined as diabetic. So I'm not diabetic. I was tested months ago at a fair or something, and I'm not. But I go, oh, well, if I'm diabetic, should we not have a discussion over my drinking and my eating habits? He goes, no, that pill will fix that. What? So, yeah, that's what they're fucking doing to you.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, yeah, can I leave now? Because I'm done.
People have forgotten, people and doctors have both forgotten that, you're here to service me, right? I'm here to tell you what is going on, and you're here to give me advice, and I'm the one who takes that advice or denies that advice.
So here's my question.
You don't tell me I'm going on this.
Right. So I got my blood results, and I looked at it, and I'm literally I'm on this one test, I was right on the cusp of diabetic, not diabetic. But again, it says you need 2 tests. So if I do the next test and I find out that I'm not diabetic,
yeah.
Well, do I just let this go? This is
get
bullshit.
a different doctor.
I'm done with him already.
Fire him.
No, that's been taken care of. But that's not my point. He's trying to manipulate me to go on the fat shot.
Yeah.
You know the fat shot, right? Did we talk about this? So Trump had a
that's just his own Ozempic, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a fat shot.
Okay.
And it wasn't even a money thing because they gave me a coupon.
Right.
A coupon.
Yeah, but they're getting commission off of that.
Right, but I only got paid $25 for it. But somebody else.
The doctor's getting commission.
Right, I'm sure he is. But yeah, I actually think he's doing a study.
They have to tell you if they're doing a study.
See, that's what I thought. But the reason my wife found out about this doctor is a coworker of hers, and he did the same thing to him.
Okay.
Put him on Ozempic. He goes, you'll stop drinking. He didn't stop drinking.
Right.
He actually gained weight on Ozempic. And he went back and told the doctor this, and the doctor goes, oh, man, I got to put you down as a no. He's like, what do you mean? He goes, well, I'm doing some research on so
you got to report that guy, because yes, you can't do that.
Research and study, is that the same thing?
You cannot be part of a human trial without your full knowledge and consent.
So, okay, and so I kind of get into a conversation with this doctor about the whatever. I go, it's Monero. And he goes, it's good for you because it'll make you stop drinking. I go, well, why does it make you stop drinking?
Yeah.
He goes, oh, we don't know. I go, so you're pushing a drug with a side effect that you don't know why? He's like, yeah, but it's a good one. I go, no, well, that's perspective.
Oh, my God. And I know there's a drug out there that makes you, have a visceral reaction to alcohol. I don't think it's that one.
It might be Ozempic, though. It's supposed to be.
I don't know. But I heard about this before Ozempic was a thing.
Why do they push? No, Ozempic's been around for 8 years.
I've heard about this before. Way before.
Because I said, well, what about the COVID vaccine?
Yeah.
That was sold to. That was trying to be forced on us to be good.
Right.
Well, we know that ain't true.
Right.
Which there's actually some breaking news on that too, but we'll probably get to that in a couple weeks. But he's like, well, that was an instantaneous thing. We kind of knew right away that it was bad. Oh, did you tell the media that?
Why did you push it out?
I know.
Why did you make us get it? Why did you fucking facilitate this? Why did you put needles in people's arms?
Right. And I'm just like, well, but you have a side effect that you don't know why it's happening. So it's doing something to the brain.
Yeah.
Well, of course it's affecting the brain. I go, I don't want to take a pill that affects my brain.
Right.
I got enough shit in my body that affects my brain. My whiskey, my pot. I mean, I got everything that affects my brain. That's for good stuff. That was bad. So oh jeez, how did I get there? So basically, with the media, are we subsidizing the media by buying the pharmaceutical medication, giving them the ability to have the money to advertise on CNN?
Well, wait.
They're making money off of us because they're ripping us off and giving free drugs to everybody else in the world. So they're using that money to pay for CNN.
Okay.
So why not just pull their funding? Tell them they get. First of all, why do they advertise on TV?
Why do they have what?
Why do they advertise?
Oh, because they can't. Because you, the customer, aren't paying enough in direct funds to keep them alive.
So they're not advertising over-the-counter medication. They're advertising.
Yeah.
No, they're prescription medication. So you have to go to your doctor and goes, I saw this on TV. I want this.
Yeah.
And the doctor goes, okay, here.
Right.
That's not how medicine is supposed to get. It's sickness,
it
illness, treatment.
Well, if people fall for it, like, what do you? I mean, this is like you got to stop thinking in terms of, these evil pharma companies or these evil advertisers. It's you who are a fucking moron who goes to who sees a thing on the TV and says, "Oh, I need that." Like, you're not a child. It's not Saturday morning cartoons where they put fucking Frosted Flakes and Tony the Tiger and, "Oh, I see the cartoon tiger. I want to have that." You're an adult.
I object wholeheartedly. When they had that Evil Knievel bike come out, you crank it up like this and it takes off and it hits that ramp. I had to have that.
Yeah, that's different though.
Of course, I was like,
but you're an adult.
25 at the time.
But you're an adult, and like, you should be able to separate Tony the Tiger from the fat woman in the Ozempic commercial.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's just not. Stop fucking thinking you need this thing. Stop thinking it's gonna fix your life. It's not. You're a fat, ugly asshole because you're lazy. Get off your fat ass and do something.
I go, just so you know, Doc, I started walking 1.5 miles a day about 3 or 4 months ago, and I have dropped weight. I don't weigh myself because I don't give a fuck.
You just feel it,
No, I know my belt. I'm using different holes.
Yeah.
So cool. So I'm like, well, should we take that into consideration before we try to treat pharmaceutical? No, just take the pill. It'll fix everything. Because you'll be a much happier person. You'll come into me in the next 3 weeks, and you'll be like, dude, I feel so much better. Thank you. I don't know why I feel better, but I feel better. I don't want that from a pill.
Yeah.
Jesus.
No, it's just not how it works.
So basically, I wanted to just bring up the funding and Trump. He's trying to reduce the cost of pharmaceutical medication in the big beautiful.
No, so this is something I find interesting. Like, you just go on this rant against pharmaceuticals, but now you're saying, "Ooh, Trump's trying to reduce prices."
Well, because
why would you want a lower price for something that's evil?
Some people need medication. My wife.
But he's not lowering the prices for that medication. He's lowering the prices for Ozempic.
No. He's not just a bad shot. He's going after it all. Like asthmatics need the inhaler and need their steroid or whatever the fuck they'll say. Cancer patients need this if they actually have cancer. If cancer actually exists, it does. I know. It's the sickness of the day. So there have been doctors who have admitted telling patients they had cancer when they didn't.
Well, so that could be down to a flawed test rather than lying.
Well, okay, so
there's actually a famous college statistics question that they give you.
Okay,
and it's something like if a cancer test has a false positive rate of 1%, and you test. And you go and you test positive for cancer, what are your odds of actually having cancer? And like, almost everybody gets it wrong, especially doctors. Like, doctors
they'll say 99%.
Right, they'll say 99%. 1%, which it's actually like your odds of having cancer, given that you had a positive test, is like 50-50. It's like, it's so far out of what you think it is that's like, wait a minute. But when you sit down and do the math, it's actually correct.
So it's kind of like if you got A, B, and C in front of you, and somebody tells you to pick a letter, you pick B, and then he removes C.
Yeah.
Should you choose A?
Yes.
He gives you the chance to choose again.
Yes.
You should choose A.
Yes.
Because the first one you had a third of a chance. Now you have a half a chance. So your odds are better at picking the right answer.
Right.
But they're gonna fake it anyway, so who cares?
Yeah. But yeah, doctors don't understand statistics at all. Most humans don't. I'm intuitively, nobody does.
Again, I'm anti-doctor. I've not been to a doctor in a long time, and to pick one right out of the box that I'm pretty sure is a fucking liar, and he's pushing drugs on me.
Fauci?
Hey, Fauci's a good man. He's a good man to throw off a cliff, but he's a good man to throw off a cliff. That's what I kind of bring up, and that kind of brings in the big beautiful bill, which I think ties to Elon Musk.
Yes.
So go ahead.
Yeah. So apparently Elon's leaving Doge,
which he always said he was going to after the first 100 days.
I thought he said 2 years.
No, he said I'll give you the first 100 days and we'll
okay.
go from there.
Okay, that's fair. But I think he's kind of dejected about it all. Because, like, they did all this great work. They found tons of abuse and waste and bullshit that, like, you could just instantly turn off, right? And what does Congress do? They pass the big, beautiful bill, which reauthorizes all of that shit again, and then some.
No, I don't believe it's reauthorized.
Yes,
something.
it is.
Okay, so...
read the bill.
So
that's your homework for this week, is to spend the entire week reading that bill, because it's going to take you that whole time.
Then what's the Recession Act?
What do you mean the Recession Act?
That's a very valid point. It plays into this. So apparently in the big beautiful bill, they can only, I'm going to use the term mandatory spending. I know it's not the right word, but it's mandatory versus
discretionary.
Discretionary. So apparently in bills like the big beautiful bill, you cannot put discretionary spending in there.
Okay.
It has to be done a different way.
Okay.
So that's why he couldn't do the USAID cuts and all that other stuff. He could not do that in that bill. And no, the proof's in the pudding. It's going to happen on Monday. If it doesn't, then people are a fucking liar.
Okay.
So they're saying, and this is Thomas Massey's
But he did. Okay, so like he did the tax cuts. Some of them, like the tax on tips. That's in there. But the problem is they increase spending.
Right, but he's now, according to what I'm hearing, on Monday, a bill is going to be presented to Congress to cut $9 billion out of the budget, which is all the discretionary, a lot of the discretionary spending.
See.
Well, no, I'm saying the proof is there.
We'll see.
But the president has an act that's never talked about, which I don't know why. Well, I know why, because it cuts spending. It's called the Recession Act.
Okay.
And he presents to Congress, I want to cut these discretionary spending funds.
Okay.
And they have to vote on that.
Well, but they won't vote for it.
Well, it'll pass the House, I'm sure. I know. Well, but I don't.
So this will be one where Massey's like, yeah, I'm all for that.
Right.
And then Trump will have to like eat his fucking shorts because Trump's always talking shit about Massey. Look, he's never going along with me. Well, here's your chance, fucking guy.
Well, but let's find out.
Yeah.
I mean, because
Massey would be the only guy voting for it.
There are two sides to the Massey story. I'm still a fan of Massey, but he also did vote yes on a lot of the Biden stuff.
Well, we already talked about that.
Right. So,
like the Biden stuff actually had the promises that Massey was demanding.
Okay, and that's fine, but it's a fucked up Congress right now, but let's see what happens. Let's see if next week comes and they.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll be reporting on that next week because this is a whole lot of bullshit.
Yeah. So Elon Musk. Is that what you said?
Yeah, just the whole news about him leaving.
So he did say he's going to reevaluate after the first 100 days.
No, what I am hopeful about is that Musk starts realizing that you can't solve this problem through government,
right?
And he becomes an anarchist. I think he's on the path, dude. He's on the path.
Well, he went from Democrat to Republican pretty quick.
Well, yeah, and he's going to start talking to like Michael Malice, and maybe he'll go on the Tom Woods show. Maybe he'll come on our show, huh? How about that?
I would like that. Elon Musk did a great job. DOGE is still in full effect.
Yeah.
Big balls is at work as we speak. So no, let's just see how this goes. But understand that Congress has not codified. All of Trump's executive orders have not been. I think the word's like codified or something like that.
Yeah.
But they've done nothing to vote in these. So Congress is an issue.
Right.
And if we don't fix Congress, they're just waiting Trump out. Yep. And hoping J.D. Vance doesn't win. So, I don't know. We'll see. But Congress keeps on the fucking ball because...
Well, here's a cost-saving measure that the government's about to do.
What's that?
So the U.S. Mint has announced that they will no longer be making pennies.
Oh, is that a permanent one?
I don't know about permanent because nothing's ever permanent in government.
No, but Trump did that like 2 months ago.
Well, it just came out 2 days ago or something.
No, but Trump said we're still going to stop.
They were announcing it, yes, but like this is now it's official. The Mint
agreed, yeah.
Now I don't actually like this. So the savings are like $80 million.
Okay.
Which in government terms is nothing, right? And the whole reasoning behind this is that a penny contains like 3 cents worth of zinc and copper.
I believe it's like 6, but.
Well, that's how much it costs them to make it.
I thought it was 6 cents, but it could be.
It contains 3 cents worth of melt money,
and then
the overhead is
Okay.
So the reason I don't like this is because why the fuck is a penny worth 3 cents melt? Right? What have you done to the fucking money?
How have you fucked
so
up?
bad that a penny is worthless?
Dude, look at a quarter.
I understand, but
like I have an old slot machine. It's a quarter slot.
Yeah.
And an old quarter works just fine. You throw a new quarter in there, it's like, what the fuck is this?
No, I mean, this is so. It's okay. It's not that I'm against the policy. It's that I'm like, this is a giant red flag as to where we're heading. Right? We're not on the right path. Like, and we're not recovering. Right? This happened in the late Roman Empire.
Okay.
So you can they dig up old coins, right? And they know they can date those coins based on where in the dirt it was and all sorts of other things. And like they even have like bills of sale. So so we can dig up these old coins, and we know the prices of bread from like various years in the ancient Roman Empire. And so the older coins were pure silver, right? Mm-hmm. And if you look at the prices of the bread, it was like 1 coin for a price of bread.
Okay.
Or a loaf of bread. And then as time went on, the silver content of the coins kept going down.
Right.
So they would mix it with baser metals, is what they call it. And the price of bread kept going up. Right? So this is what's happening right now, right?
Yeah, it's a good analogy. Yeah.
The metal, like pennies used to be pure copper.
Yeah.
Right? They couldn't afford that, so they started putting zinc in there. Yeah. Now it's mostly zinc, but with a thin copper coating.
If you go to like an M&M, like an antique store, or buy an old penny, and get a new penny, just put it in your hands.
Yeah.
It's noticeable. 1 penny in each hand. It's noticeable.
Old quarters, like even so, if you find a quarter from 1964 or earlier, melt that shit. Right. Don't actually do that. That's illegal. Well, but it has silver in it.
But 64 to, I think of recent, like the last 10 years, you can see, if you look at the side of the quarter, you can see where the copper is and where the silver is.
Yep. Well, there's no silver anymore.
There's none at all?
No. They got rid of silver. Like, oh, dude, you think they can afford that?
That's a rich man's metal.
Yeah, fuck. No, so there's a funny thing that, there's an image floating around where they say, like, the price of gas in 1964 was 5 quarters, right? And the price of gas today is 5 quarters, as long as you have 5 quarters from 1964, because they have silver in them, right? So like the money is fucked, and this is only going to accelerate, right? So for today's the penny, next they're going to do the nickel, the dime, the quarter. And we're going to have only paper money. Then they're going to get rid of the paper because the paper's too expensive, and you're only going to have your fucking CDBC that you have to use your phone on.
So they're not going to make pennies anymore.
No,
but we're still going to use them.
Yes.
So because
they're going to get phased out though.
That's bullshit.
Well, what are you going to do?
Because then that means, and you know what's going to happen, the corporations are going to round up to their favor.
Of course.
See, and you cycle,
okay.
So they get 3 extra cents. So times that by thousands of people.
I've been to Mongolia 3 times, okay? Now, the money there is completely fucked, right? So, like, the highest bill is a 20,000 note, and everything costs way more than that. So, like, if you want to pay cash, you have to walk around with fucking stacks and stacks of bills. And there is nothing below 100 notes, right? Okay. So they don't have decimals, right? You can't get a 1 note or a 2 note. You can as like a gift, right? And they cost like 300 worth of notes. But you can't use them in stores. So like if they charge you at a store and the price comes out to, let's say 180, you're going to give them 200s, and then they say, thank you, have a nice day. Oh. So, because there is no change. Nobody has the change. So, yes, what you're saying is correct. They're going to raise the price, and then they're going to not even give you change anymore. Like, we don't have it. It doesn't exist. That money is just gone. It's on paper only. But they're going to owe taxes on it, and so are you. Yeah. And it's going to, like I said, it's going to keep getting worse.
All right.
So we have Mongolian money.
Yeah, no, money is, I don't know. It's just, I'm anti-digital currency.
Oh, it's so the only thing that we can afford. Yeah, but the paper will be too expensive. Think how crazy that is. Too expensive to make paper.
Well, and that goes into another whole other story I won't get into, but that goes why we should be using hemp paper. No, it's quickly renewable.
Yeah, sure.
It's a easier process. You don't need chemicals to strip the wood.
I don't know how well the anti-counterfeiting measures work on hemp. So you have to, because that's the real important thing with government money is the anti-counterfeiting, or any paper money really.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know what the solution to that problem is. I'm not a financial guy.
Kick the government out. You start moving to crypto. Like you can't counterfeit crypto.
I'm still not a crypto guy.
You will be. Like, that's the problem. Like, you will be, and then you'll be the guy with none, and please, sir, can I have some more, right?
Well, but I'll have tomatoes and cucumbers.
Okay, that's fair. Like, as long as you have something, then you'll be able to adapt to the new money.
I mean, I can make my own whiskey.
Yeah.
I got corn growing in my backyard right now.
Yeah.
I'll be just fine.
But there'll be a lot of people that are not crypto guys that have nothing, and they'll be like, please, sir, can I have some more?
But what happened? Okay, now was that what part of Europe was that they lost power for a
Spain?
while? Yeah, well, it was Spain.
We talked about this.
I know, but I mean, with crypto, you can't.
Yes, we talked about this when we were talking with Paranoia. Like, you don't need a grid.
You need power. You need to show.
But you don't need a grid.
But you need to be able to show what you have.
Okay, but power is not a grid.
And the internet to transfer from one to the other.
But you don't need the internet.
Okay, I will have to wait until that happens to find out.
We already have solutions to this. It's just a matter of start using them.
You think you have a solution?
No, we do.
Okay. All right, let's go to the next. Let's start hitting them one by one. This is more of a funny thing.
Yes.
So this is in Addison, Illinois. Tell me this guy didn't time travel. Is that not fucking?
It kind of looks just like the.
He's in 1958.
Yeah. Boom.
Yeah.
The trees masking it. That's like a perfect.
And the truck just shook off. And disappeared. So apparently, there's a propane leak in back of a box truck. Why you have propane back there? I don't know.
Wow.
But I just thought it was funny when I saw that. The first thing I thought was Back to the Future. I made a comment about it.
Yeah.
But even my wife's like, it's showing your age there, aren't you? I'm like, no, Back to the Future.
That's a classic.
Yeah, it's kind of
Everybody knows that movie. Dude, when we're in the DeLorean Club, like little kids will come up, oh my God, Back to the Future. They know.
Yeah,
that's one thing that's timeless.
But it's
no pun intended.
Yeah, exactly. What's weird though, it's been popping up like on social media, on the news. Are they going to remake Back to the Future?
Not within the lifetimes of Bob Gale or Robert Zemeckis, because they specifically have contracts that say you will not fuck with our movie while we're alive.
What if they go to a Back to the Future 3 or 4?
There'd be 4.
It'd be 4.
You can't. There's
okay.
They will not allow it.
It's just been weird because it's been popping up, and I'm like, oh shit.
And they've been saying this for years.
Okay.
But no, Bob Gale and Robert Zemeckis were like, we have the perfect trilogy. It's done. We're not gonna fuck with it. You're not gonna fuck with it until they are getting up there in age. So once they die off,
depends on who gets the rights.
Yeah, so you never know. So Back to the Future is safe. Like for now.
Well, yeah, because the kids will get it, and they were like, "What? We can get $10 more million?" Oh yeah, let's have Marty McFly being butt fucked by Donald Duck. God, I hope they leave that alone.
Well, they did have a Leah Thompson movie with a sexual duck scene.
I love that movie, man.
Howard the Duck. Go watch that one for you 80s fans.
It's a B movie.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's good. Yeah. I mean, it's talking walking duck, but like, whatever. All right, what do we got next?
Here? Oh, this one's fun.
So this is the president of France and his, well, I guess spouse.
Look at the slow-mo. So yeah.
That's
caught
France,
on camera.
That's your president, or what do you call your leader?
No, I saw this like when it came out, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, this is abuse," and she groomed him when he was a teenager.
I'm glad you said that.
How do you know he's not into this?
Well, I mean, and
maybe that's their thing.
Maybe it is, but obviously as a president, you would only get smacked in the face by your tranny wife.
Well, they didn't know the camera was running. They were role playing. Oh shit, honey, the camera's running.
Do you know the story behind all this?
I know just bits and pieces. I don't know the full. She was his teacher, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he groomed him.
Yeah.
And then they got married.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's weird, man.
Care. What do I care? They're French. That's what they do. They're weird people. They don't shave their armpits.
My wife is like, honey, stop saying the president of France's wife is a man. I go, what? She goes, just stop your conspiracies. Okay. There you go.
If anyone,
she goes, oh, he's a man.
If any presidential spouse is likely to be a man, it's that one.
Okay, so if the bet was Obama's or this guy and his wife, my money's going on the French.
Absolutely,
dude.
Yeah.
That dude is a man, hands, feet, and all.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to because I thought it was funny. And then what do we got next? Okay, so Okay.
Yeah, this one's kind of like this is like some goofball redneck. But you want to play the video? It's like a minute and change.
Yeah, it's about the moon landing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just tell me if he makes sense.
He doesn't. Like, let's just play it.
You really believe that in 1969, when television was still in black and white, and folks were still using rotary fucking phones?
When did color TV come out?
I think it was around that year.
Cars sold in the United States didn't even have power windows or fucking air conditioning. And we just strapped two cowboys into what was essentially a fucking Coke can with a Chevy small block attached to it.
Yeah, 50s were
and just launched them motherfuckers out into orbit on nothing more than a hope and a fucking dream. And somehow managed to land that glorified bottle rocket safely on an uncharted lunar surface. Where they then got out and played hopscotch for a few hours. And then they got right back inside that motherfucker. And then somehow managed to launch themselves back off the goddamn moon with no infrastructure. And then a few short weeks later they landed safely back on Earth. You really fucking believe that happened? Goddamn, you're a gullible son of a bitch. I bet you still believe in fucking Santa Claus, you goofy bastard.
Okay, so you want to go, well, color TV came out earlier. Again, we already admit he's a redneck.
Yeah.
They didn't get color TV, or we didn't get color TV till way into the 70s.
Yeah, okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So be understandable.
No,
you know?
yeah. But, like, when you don't get how shit works.
You goofy motherfucker.
Yeah, like, it's. You know,
do you believe in Santa Claus?
This is just so dumb. Like, okay, first of all, the consumer electronics available at the time is not a good argument that the government stealing a bunch of money and spending it how they want can't do amazing things, right? Because the Soviets did, right? The Soviets, where people were literally starving, did launch stuff into space.
Why are you using logic on this video?
Well,
there's nothing logical about this video. It was just funny.
It's just
the southern accent made it even funnier.
I just don't find stuff like that funny. It's
the
just
Coke
stupid.
can or Pepsi can.
It's just stupid. It's just stupid.
But there was some valid points in there.
No,
we talked about this last week. After the show about it being uncharted. We just fucking landed a fucking spaceship on the fucking moon.
Yeah.
Know nothing about it. Guys, go and get out.
Of course we knew about it.
What about the moon monsters?
What?
The moon monsters.
Oh my god.
How do we know they don't exist? I mean, we don't know.
God.
And we just fucking sacrificed some people, whatever.
Fuck. Okay, let's do the Monero. Let's do the wheel this week.
Okay.
So, well, first of all, Dormouse, you never collected your winnings, buddy. So I told you the rules. You got to contact us. You never contacted me. And he's in the chat room too. He's talking in the chat room, and he didn't contact me. So you just gave up all those donations. So whoever wins this week is going to get a whole big chunk of change.
All right. Woohoo!
And if you remember last week's challenge, it was tell us your favorite George Wendt, R.I.P. Role that was not Norm from Cheers.
Right.
Now, do you know the correct answer?
What do you mean? There's a bunch of them.
What's the correct answer?
What?
The correct answer to the question.
I don't know. There's numerous ones.
What's his best?
What do I think
the best role is? Without Cheers?
I would say Coach Ditka.
Ditka. When was he Ditka?
On Saturday Night Live.
No, he was not. He was not Ditka. That's the correct answer, but he was not Ditka. The first answer.
Oh, that's right, because he kept saying Duck Coach.
The first answer came from Almagest.
So he played at Chicagoan.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Almagest answered me like 5 minutes after the show posted.
Yeah.
And he said, "Duh, Superfans," which is the correct answer.
Oh, that's right, Superfans. Yeah.
Now, I actually want to do a little diversion here and talk about Superfans.
Okay.
Because it was fucking an amazing skit. Now, George Wendt was actually from Southside Chicago.
Right.
I don't know if you knew that. He grew up in Beverly, which is like a super fucking Irish-German.
Yeah.
All the cops are from there. And the Chicago accent
it was on point if it was a cartoon.
So
you don't have that accent. I don't have that accent.
No, but I can speak in that accent. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
And if
use guys,
I wanted to actually find a photo of my dad and put it up on the TV, but cool. Like I didn't want to like do any shit without his permission or anything. Okay. But if you saw that picture, you would be like, which one of the super fans was he? He had the fucking mustache and the big beer belly.
Oh, that's awesome.
Dude, like super. So that look on the Superfans, that's not a fucking like gimmick. That's how everybody looked on the South Side of Chicago, and they all talked that way. So no, George Wendt was one of the cast members. Mike Myers. Now he kind of fucked up the accent a little bit because he's from Canada. Like every once in a while, like he did a good job in general.
I thought he was from Aurora, Colorado, Aurora, Illinois.
No, that's Wayne.
Wayne from Wayne's World.
No, so like Mike Myers, like he did a good job most of the time.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, he would slip it in a boot.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, come on, you gotta watch those. We had Chris Farley.
Yeah.
He's from the Midwest, so he was able to nail that accent.
Yeah, he's from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Bob Spiegel. He wasn't a cast member, but he was one of the writers on SNL. And like he's the one who thought up the superfans.
Okay.
So like he was in there, and then Joe Montana was in there.
Oh, that's right.
He was a host. And they had like 6 or 7 skits. It was so fucking funny, and like it's so Chicago. Like if being from Chicago, like it's just amazing how spot on that was.
So speaking of Wisconsin and Chicago, you know what a fib is?
Yeah, fucking Illinois bastard.
Yeah. So they would be like, "You fibbed when you cross our state line. Why don't you just throw 40 cents out the window every couple miles?" Because it was a dig at us for our tolls. When our tolls were 40 cents.
But yeah, congrats on almagest to getting the correct answer.
Okay.
So next we have MavMcQ, and his answer was Daddy Daycare. So that was a movie in the 2000s, I think, with
was it Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I don't know if it was.
Oh no, Daddy Dick. No, wait.
It might have been Eddie Murphy. I forget. I never saw it, but so
I know I did, but I don't remember because you've got Daddy's Home with Mark Wahlberg. You got Daddy Daycare. That might have been Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, but yeah, I'll probably check it out.
Yeah, Schwarzenegger was in something to do with Kindergarten Cop.
He was in that.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's apparently MavMcQ likes that movie a lot.
Good job, MavMcQ.
And RN, who designed our stickers, came up with an answer. He actually gave 2 answers. One was the Twilight Zone. So apparently George Wendt was in one of the episodes of the new Twilight Zone, the 80s version.
Really?
So I'm going to have to go watch that because that sounds pretty cool. And the other answer was Family Guy. But that actually does not qualify.
Was his voice, though?
Because this was his voice.
Okay.
But it doesn't qualify because that was actually Norm from Cheers.
Oh,
so I said no Norm, all right? So, but you did say Twilight Zone, so that does count.
Yeah, actors pop up in weird things. I just saw a video of Matthew McConaughey on an early version of Unsolved Mysteries.
Oh.
And he got killed.
Oops.
Apparently he was the Unsolved Mystery.
All right, so let's see who wins. MavMcQ Daddy Daycare. All right.
With the best answer.
Contact me and collect your winnings.
There you go. Alrighty. So I just got one last story.
Okay.
Yeah, did you hear about this one?
Spit on it. I saw your post, but otherwise no.
Yeah, what was the guy's name? It was the old Ed Martin. He was the DA for the D.C. area, and he did not get confirmed to the Senate. They refused to vote on him. But he was already doing the job. So when the Senate would not bring him up for vote, Trump removed him and put in someone else. And apparently it's a woman judge, and she's just could be just as tough. But he was doing a speech out in D.C., and she walks by with her dog, and she spit on him.
Yeah.
And actually, it doesn't show this. Maybe this is the post. She's like, "Yeah, it was me who spit on you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Why would you admit that?
I was dehydrated. I couldn't come up with a good spit."
Why would you admit to that?
She's going to jail.
No, okay, so this is what happened to me at Caesars that got me banned, right? A guy spit in my face. Now, here in Nevada, simple battery is just a citation. You don't get arrested. You don't go to jail.
There's 2 justice systems.
Well, so I don't know what the laws are in whatever the fuck this happened in.
Well, I'm sure it's because he's a
right. That's probably what it is. So, like, if you spit on a regular person, you just get a citation.
Yeah.
And show up to court and whatever. But apparently, if you spit on a judge or a DA or whatever,
I'm just really concerned about something, though. I mean, what's going to happen to her dog?
Probably kill
cute
it.
pup.
Probably kill it.
Send it over here. I got room for another dog.
They're cops. They love to kill dogs. That's what they do.
Oh, dude, don't even get me started on that.
So I got one more thing before we get into the. A couple of weeks ago we had a Monero challenge about giving song lyrics to an AI generator and making images.
Yeah.
So one of our listeners who goes by the name Cumlord, he's on the dark web.
Okay.
And no comment about that.
Come Lord.
Come Lord.
Oh, come. Yeah. I heard of more COM.
Oh no. Okay. But anyway, you just let the one go. That's fine.
No, I'm a lazy talker. Apparently a lazy listener.
So no, he coded up a bot that facilitates a game. So we have a room now on the dark web at IRC. So if you guys want to play the game, come on to our chat room and I'll show you how to get in there.
Oh, that's cool.
And he put up a website and everything. It's on I2P only, so if you're on the dark web, go to guessthesong.i2p and see all the images and all the guesses people have put in and all that shit.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really fun. So I'm kicking ass. I'm the top scorer right now.
Okay.
So come try and dethrone me.
Okay,
so we're ready to move on.
I think we're good right now. I think let's go into our training portion.
Cool.
Yeah, because I had a few. Well, no, actually, I do have another question for you.
Oh, okay.
Should electronics that we buy, should they be made in the U.S. only?
Absolutely not.
So you don't think that they can put in shit into our computers?
What makes you think the U.S. manufacturers can't do that?
A very good answer, anarchist. Yeah, but I mean,
like who's more likely to want to put shit in my computer?
And who's
the Chinese guy who doesn't know my name or doesn't give a fuck? He just wants a couple bucks, or the American company that has to have a business license in America who does want to spy on me and see what I'm doing?
So the answer should be who's more likely to use the data actually against me?
Well, yes. They're all putting shit in that's a given.
Okay, good answer. Okay. It was just there was some conversation.
No, I hear this argument a lot, like especially when it's about tariffs or free trade or whatever the fuck. And it's like, okay, why do you assume that because the guy's over there somewhere, he's your enemy? Like everyone assumes China's our enemy. They're not our fucking enemy.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with China being our enemy because I mean they need us as much as we need them.
Right. Well, sort of.
Well,
that's a whole other show to talk about that.
That's more of us going to war with them. They're not going to go to war with us. We're not going to go to war with them. It's stupid. But yeah.
Like I got into it in the YouTube comments on some video where like someone was saying that like, oh, China's our enemy and we have to, and I'm like, do you think the Walmart employees are your enemy? Because they're not your family, right? Yeah. Do you trust them? I mean, not really, but you still buy the shit, right?
Yeah.
Because like they have no incentive to sneak things in your electronics and do all this weird shit. Like that's just not how it works, right? Not everybody's your enemy just because you don't know them and invite them over to a barbecue.
But if I don't know them, they're scary.
Yeah, that's just retarded. No, buy whatever the fuck you want, and like if someone uses that against you somehow, learn. Right, yeah. Learn in the future and buy something different. That's fucking simple.
Yeah, if your house gets stolen, your bank account gets drained, just fucking learn and don't make the same mistakes next time.
Right. All right. So instead of a teaching topic today, I'm going to take Ian's advice and tell some work stories. So I actually have two stories. Both have the same theme. So the first one is my first job out of college was help desk for a company that made software that worked with copy machines to help law firms. So like when a law firm is doing a lawsuit, sometimes there's like thousands and thousands of pages and they have to keep all that shit organized.
Yeah.
And the way they do that is with these super expensive copy machines like $100,000, $200,000, which will do automatic staples and hole punches and like sort everything into folders and everything. So we had some of these devices on hand and like it was actually pretty fun, but I can talk about that some other time. But the story I want to talk about was I get a call one day and the customer says, all of our projects are gone. And I'm like, what? And this was like a big customer, like one of our biggest customers. And I knew that they had tons of projects. And I'm like, well, let me log into our remote support. We had like a remote support access. So I could go through their logs and see everything they did. And I'm going through the logs and I see rm-rf/projects/star. And if you're a Linux user, rm-rf means get rid of that, delete that shit, right?
Okay.
And I'm like, wait a minute, what the fuck are you? Like, how did you delete all the projects? Right? Because you shouldn't be allowed to. Like, it's not like they have terminal access. They have our kiosk, right? And they can just push buttons on the touchscreen. Like, what the fuck are they doing? And I'm like, I'm gonna have to call you back, right? So like I hang up the phone and I start fucking around with my dev terminal and I'm playing around with it and I go to create a project and there's like a text, like a keyboard, on-screen keyboard, because they use touch screens. They didn't have keyboards.
Okay.
and there's an input box and then the on-screen keyboard. And I thought, what if I just hit enter? Right? Start a new project, hit enter. Right? And it let me do that. And it brought up the new project and it let me scan documents and put folders and everything. And I'm like, huh. So I have a project that has no name, and all of our projects are in /projects/name of the project.
Right.
But there is no name. So what happens if I go delete that project? So I went to the manage project section, I hit delete project, all of my projects are gone. And like, so unlike Windows, when you rm-rf in Linux, there's no fucking recycle bin, right? That shit is gone, right? Linux is not a baby toy. So I call the guy up, and the first thing I say is, you guys make backups, right? Unfortunately, they did make backups. I'm like, you're going to have to go deploy those backups. And I'm going to go yell at our dev team, and I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do. You have to restore the backups.
Wow.
So yeah, I went and gave them shit. I'm like, dude, this is fucked up. Like, you guys are fucking retarded. Like, so that's the one story.
Well, so I got a question about copiers, because it's funny you bring that up, because I saw a TikTok video this week, and the dude buys commercial copiers, wholesale.
Okay.
And other businesses had them, and they got rid of them.
Yeah.
And he takes them to a shop, and he pulls the hard drive. Is there truly hard drives on these things?
Oh yeah. So
all your shit's on the fucking hard drive?
Well, not necessarily. You're typically you're not allowed to buy these things. Like, you only lease them. Okay?
Right, but once they get released from the lease, apparently you can buy them.
Sometimes,
like
yeah. If they're end of life or whatever. So no, the purpose of those hard drives is when you lease them, you actually have like limits on how much you can print and copy and all that shit.
Okay.
So what the hard drive is keeping track of is your stats. Yeah.
So, but they don't clear the hard drives apparently. Again, it was TikTok.
Probably not.
The dude had it was a PlayStation copy machine.
Yeah.
He had all kinds of shit.
Oh yeah, sure.
And another one was a doctor's office.
I would always, like, when I logged into remote support, I would always check, like, are there any murder files on this guy's? I never saw any interesting stuff though.
Okay.
But so no. Second story. This was at the Payday Loan place. No, you're not gonna make a okay, that's fine. I gave you the pause.
I'm not going to say predatory lender.
Okay. So this is a similar kind of story. Now, I wasn't help desk here, but I was what's called operation support.
Okay.
So the customer that had a problem would call our tech support line, and then they would escalate issues to me, where I would do more technical solutions. And I get a ticket one day from one of the help desk. And they're like, yeah, I pulled up this customer's file in our portal, and the page is all screwy. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, just give me the page, right? So I get to the link and I go to the page, and it starts off normal, like name, address, social security number, all this shit, and then suddenly it's like occupation, and then it starts off an occupation, and then it cuts off. And then it starts showing, like, the strike-through HTML code, where it's like text but with lines in the middle of it.
Sure.
And I'm like, how did you do this, right? So I pull up the database where I can see the actual records instead of the HTML rendering of it, and it turned out that the customer in their occupation, they worked at a bar called like O'Malley's or O'Reilly's or something like that, right? And there's an apostrophe.
Or a German bar.
Yeah. And there's an apostrophe in there. But instead of an apostrophe, they made a typo, and they typed an angle bracket, right?
Okay.
So an angle bracket is this guy right here.
Yeah.
Now, if you ever do HTML coding, angle brackets are what tell the system this is HTML.
Oh.
So normally, when you allow a user to input something, you're supposed to strip that shit out because you don't want them putting angle brackets,
right?
And making new HTML. So I file a ticket to the devs, and for a day, like, nobody answered. Like, and I put like HTML injection attack on portal, and like everyone ignored it. Nobody fucking, they just ignore me, right? So I come back in the next day at work, and I'm like, why has nobody worked on this ticket? So I got an idea. So I pulled up one of our test customers, which we had hundreds of those, and I go and I say edit occupation, and then I change the occupation. to like angle bracket, but instead of just typing some text in, I typed in script language equals JavaScript, redirect or window.location equals the Rickroll URL, and then then I sent an instant message to my boss and I said, hey, something's wrong with this customer on Portal. I don't understand. And then he clicks the link. He gets Rickrolled. And then like after I waited for him to say what the fuck, I gave him the link to my ticket, and he's like, okay, we'll fix it, right? Because just because a customer didn't understand how to destroy our system doesn't mean they couldn't, right? Because if I can send you to Rickroll, I can send you any fucking where I want,
exactly,
right? So the point of these stories is do not trust user input ever, right? Users are going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
They're going to be malicious. They will fuck with you. And by the way, on the AI image generator bot, I am fucking with it. I am doing anything I can to break this thing, right? Because this is how we protect ourselves.
Right.
But never, ever, ever, ever trust user inputs, right? If you have a form that they have to fill out, you better be fucking locking that shit down to only allow the absolute minimum that they're allowed to do. And like it's hard work. Like this is the most boring part of our job as developers, but you have to fucking do it.
Yeah.
Because one fucked up and like all the social security numbers are out there, all the credit card numbers are out there, and you're fucking facing a $20 million lawsuit.
Yep.
So don't fucking skip on this. But yeah, that's my work story.
That's cool. It's like I mean, I guess now it doesn't matter, but people used to send Word documents with letters. I go, don't fucking send in Word, send in PDF.
Right.
You can change Word, you can't change PDF. Now it's very easy.
You can also put macros in Word that can run code.
Oh, so I didn't even know that.
Oh yeah,
But I mean, nowadays, with the PDF unlocker, it's easy now, but whatever. So here's a funny thing. I've been doing these training sessions. We've been doing, a year and a half? Almost a year, like 3-4 months.
Yep.
And this is something I've always just done, but I never thought about it being a training session. So my wife and I, we were hanging out in the Arts District. If you're in town, if you're a tourist in Vegas, don't go to the Arts District. It's for us. Leave us the fuck alone. No, if you're a listener, you got my permission. Come and join us at the Arts District. And we were just checking out cool bars down there because we have a friend coming to town. And we wanted to, because we typically go to the breweries and the restaurants down there, but we were checking out the Mermaid Bar, or the Pirate Bar.
Okay.
It's called Stray Pirate.
Okay.
And it's actually raising money for animals. And because it's stray, and then pirate, they have like the animals dressed up as pirates. It's cute. It's kitschy. The drinks are expensive. And I was talking to the bartender, and there was a couple to the left of me because I was on the corner of the bar, and we were talking about his dog, and I was talking about my dog, and I'm like, oh, does your dog have commands? He's like, yeah. I go, do you use the basic ones like sit and stay? He's like, no, I don't, because I don't want to do a lot of commands with it. And the couple over here goes, well, why does that matter? Because what's the big deal about that? I go, well, you don't ever give your dog, don't teach your dog to sit, to stay, to roll over, to play dead. I'll get to that. I'll get to why in a second. And
because I can come up to your dog and say,
so they were like, oh, why? And I was, we were talking to the guy. I go,
we're not just hacking computer devices. We're hacking dogs.
We're hacking dogs. And I go, first of all, I go, as a plumber, I've had to break into people's houses. I think I told this story once before. I broke into a guy's house, and his German Shepherd was at the top of the stairs. And the next day, I went back and I introduced myself, say, "Hey, I'm the guy who broke in your house." Blah blah blah. And the locksmith was literally installing a deadbolt on his door at the same time. And he goes, "Well, the locksmith told me how you got in. I want to know how you got past my dog." And it was a full-size German Shepherd sitting at the top of the stairs. And I go, well, one, I'm not scared of dogs, so the dog wasn't picking up any negative energy of me, and dogs respond better to a woman's voice than a male voice. And if they're trained, I can basically control the dog. And that's how I got past the German Shepherd. I said, I talk in a higher pitched voice, and the lady goes, I want to hear that. And I'm like, well, maybe it's not. I go, it's a softer voice.
Yeah.
But basically is I hit the stairs, I start walking up slowly, I'm talking, hey, what's up, buddy? Hey, can you sit? Can you lay down? Can you roll over? Oh, good boy. Where are your treats at? Just take me to your treats, I'll give you treats. And I gave that fucking dog treats.
Yeah.
That's how you get past dogs. So he's like, well, what do? I go, well, one, make up words. The dog's not. It's not.
Right.
He's not going to Google it. Going, that's not a word.
Yeah.
And I go, or you use a foreign language.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the movie Young Guns. I forget if this was Young Guns 1 or Young Guns 2.
Okay.
The Young Guns were being chased by a posse.
Okay.
And the Lou Diamond Phillip was in the back. And all the Young Guns, their horses stopped when they saw, it wasn't quite a cliff, but it was a really steep hill.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Lou Diamond's character comes running up. And he's like, Etsy! And his horse goes down the hill, and the rest of the horses follow. And the posse gets there, they're like, even their horses are crazy. And the guy goes to Lou Diamond Phillip, what does Etsy mean? Lou Diamond Phillip goes, it means stop. but the point is there are other languages you can use.
Yeah.
And don't tell people what your commands are to your dog.
Right.
Because I personally, my dog has 0 commands. He's a smart enough dog. He knows what to do. I have one issue with my dog, and he likes to bark at other dogs. And I'm trying to break that for when I walk him, but that's a whole other story. But my point is if your dog is for home protection or family protection, do not train it with standard sit, stay,
you have to
speak kind of
separate out a pet.
Yeah,
from a defender.
Right, but even like my little dog, I mean, she don't bite you. She might leave a few teeth in your leg. She is losing teeth. We're walking across the living room. What the fuck is that? It's a tooth. She's old. Get over it. So we bought her soft food. So what? She's good. But yeah, it's so if you do want your dogs to be protective. Just be careful what you train them to do, because someone that's nefarious can take control of your dog.
Yeah.
And it's not like he's going to, have the dog go rob a bank or something. But I mean, he is going to be able to. Yeah. But there's actually a movie of German Shepherds walked into a bank. But the thing is you want your dog to defend your house. Like I got a friend try to walk in the house without me.
Yeah.
Got 2 feet in and stopped dead. Like, run. And my dog just posted up and went, grrr. He's 72 pounds. I know that because I had to take him to the vet because I had to give him the rabies shot. Don't even be fucking started on the rabies shot. How can my dog get fucking rabies?
I don't know.
Google map my house.
From a bat?
No, bats carry rabies.
A lot of them do.
No, they don't. See, I'm just like, why? Fucking government control. They want to know my dog. It's like my bees. I have to report my bees to the fucking city? Fuck you.
Maybe you should get a bat. You don't got to report those.
You probably do. And I was talking to the vet. I was talking to the vet office, and I'm just like, I really don't want to do this, but he's got to have his rabies shots. He's like, no, it's a good thing. I go, no, it's not, because he can't get fucking rabies.
Yeah.
My dog is in my backyard, which has a 5-foot CMU wall and concrete walls all the way around it, a gate that's fucking like Fort Knox, and no coyotes.
Yeah.
I mean, for a coyote to get to my backyard, it's going to be really fucking tight.
I think your dog is bigger than a coyote anyway.
A coyote won't fuck with my big dog. It's funny. So if a pack of coyotes, they would.
Yeah.
And what they would do is there was a pack of coyotes, they were making like a whimpering sound. And they would bring the big dog in.
Oh, man.
And then they would attack it. but basically a big dog will fend off.
No, did you know that in Nevada, you don't need any license to kill and eat coyotes? You can just go do it.
Okay, eating part gets me.
Well, you don't have to eat it.
Oh, okay. Thank God. Yeah, so I'm not real fond of eating coyotes. I mean, yeah, it's funny. Well, coyotes were here before us. Okay, we're here now.
Yeah,
I mean, I get.
They don't have to attack me. They can mind their business.
I get the ecosystem. I'm not bothering them. Don't bother me. Kumbaya, coexist. Put me in a Prius. I think that's it for me. Apparently, I got some phone calls to return.
There you go.
All right.
See you next week.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you for joining us at the Canary in the Cage podcast.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share us to help build the community.
You can find us at Odyssey, Rumble, YouTube, or your favorite podcast app, and even on the dark web at I2P.
Thanks for listening, and see you next time.